So I hired a no, and we went to Kaimosi Girls, played, and out of the 6, 5 of them qualified to go to the nationals. And the
Wow.
excitement, can't
Hey.
imagine the excitement. Now we came to the assembly and decided to brag about it. As much as to some extent getting 2 points, it is not very hard in chess. But now, as we decided, nobody will know it was 2 points. We're just going to say we qualified. And we were very excited about it. And we spoke in the assembly. I called them. We bragged the way we are going to Karatina for the nationals, and the way chess is taking them out of, those are students who have never even gone beyond the 10. Now it was taking them beyond Nairobi.
Eldoret Open. This is one of the major tournaments in the country.
When people hear St. Luke Hospital, they were like, are we going to play in a hospital? How possible is that? But once they arrived there, they were like, wow, it is a paradox. You are in hospital and you're having fun. My kids have become very responsible. Chess has made them organized, and they have become people who can easily express themselves. And I owe that to chess. I can say chess transformed their lives
You know,
in a
hey,
way.
your story is like a movie.
Yeah.
The landscape of chess in Kenya is shifting and shifting fast. When you talk of defining chess in the region, in the country, in the continent, in the world, there's some names which you can't miss to mention. In Kenya, for instance, there's one individual who has redefined leadership, gender-wise, strategy-wise, and impact-wise. I'm talking about a lady because it is International Women's Day and International Women's Month, whereby we celebrate women leadership in chess. This lady transformed the North Rift region from almost non-existent in chess circles conversations to now being one of the major hubs of chess in Kenya and in East Africa. Faith Letting, karibu sana, and thank you for making the time.
Thank you so much, Eugene. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. And thank you for the opportunity to share my chess story.
My
Thank you.
pleasure. Pleasure. I'd like to understand where this chess journey started with Faith Letting, even before you came to the county association, before you even got
Sure.
this title L.S.I, and we'll talk about that. Where did this chess journey start for you?
My chess journey is a very interesting one. Actually, being a teacher, I got a transfer from Baringo County to Elgeyo Marakwet. Now I came to a school, and I'm sure teachers would understand this, that when you go to a new place, everybody owns a game. So for me, when I was coming from Baringo, I was a fan of volleyball and badminton, and I used to coach those two. So when I came to Elgeyo Marakwet, I was hoping to continue with volleyball and badminton. But now I arrived and people own the game because I'm in a new place. So the only game that was remaining was chess. The interesting bit is I had never heard of chess, let alone seeing a board. That was in 2017. And then 2018 is when they were now choosing games. We were in a games meeting, and somebody's like, I'm coaching volleyball with so and so, I'm coaching handball with so and so. And then the HOD games, that's the head of department, mentioned that, hey, there is this game called chess. Na he actually said hawaendangi mahali, and wanakuanga tu somewhere they are trying to play, and but they are requesting for a patron.
How
Yes.
did that feel like?
Okay, for me, I don't know why it actually captured my attention. And for me, actually, I just wanted a game. I wanted to coach students for a game. I waited for people to say it's theirs, and nobody owned the game. And now that there was no any other game that was available, I just decided to take chess by faith. As much as I didn't know much about it, and people were like, "Do you know chess?" And by faith, I said yes. Now I went to meet the students. I found students having art, some stones, and a piece of. I remember it was a piece of a bishop and a broken. They told me it's a queen, but it didn't have the head, so you couldn't tell whether it's a queen or a king. The rest of the pieces were stones. And in my head, I thought that is how the game is played. And I actually introduced myself and told them I am your new chess patron. Then after the game, when the time elapsed, when the boys were going to class, I asked them, who is the best in chess here? They gave me two boys. Then I told them to remain behind as the rest left for classes. So these boys, I decided to open up to them. I told them, I'm your chess patron. I know nothing about chess, but let it be our secret between the three of us. But now I told them I wanted them to teach me chess. The funny bit is these boys were very excited. They just wanted a patron. They never cared whether I knew chess or not. The boys taught me told me there is something called a queen, a rook, and they told me actually these stones are not the pieces, they are real pieces. So after that, I remember I went to the supermarket. I bought three chessboards and then brought them to school. Now that is when I noticed, oh, so these are the pieces. And I started learning about chess. Then these boys were very interesting. After I brought them the three chessboards, they were very excited. And lucky for me, I had a teacher from Baringo, Mr. Chesaina, the current chair of Baringo County. I called him one day and told him, I have a problem with boards. I only have three. And he actually helped me. He gave me the pieces. He didn't have boards, but he had very many pieces. So we decided to drawing a box and making the board so that we use the pieces on that box. And then that is how we started our chess journey.
It just
Mhm.
speaks to the inadequate amenities that were there then. Is it a question
Yeah.
of this is just a neglected sport? After all, hata hawaendangi mahali. Is it an admin issue? Is it
Mm.
an issue of the students not taking care of the pieces, or how supported were the other sports in comparison to this one then?
Now, chess was not actually supported. By the most times, principals would say it is not part of the ministry games during that time. So it was not supported. And I wouldn't even say that the students were careless because the board was very old. For them to have three pieces on that board, I believe they had really
Three.
tried. Because,
Three.
yeah, they had only a bishop. Yeah, it was a bishop, and it's a broken bishop, a broken knight, and a broken queen or king. I couldn't tell which is which at that time. So for them, I felt they had a passion. And the interesting bit, these students told me they were taught by someone who came to that school for teaching practice. I guess that is the person who gave them the board long time ago. By the time I met those students, they were in Form 4. They were only Form 4s who knew chess in that school, and there were three, and the rest were trying to learn the game. But now there was no facilities. So I wouldn't even, and again, I wouldn't blame the admin because at that time, chess was not, it was very much unknown. Actually, it was unknown. I cannot blame the principal. I would say it is the sensitization that was not there at that time. So it was just the students knowing there is something called chess, and no one taking it seriously because of lack of the information that was much needed at that time. Yeah.
Interesting parallels, because when I look back to 2014 when I first encountered chess,
Mm-hmm.
actually, funny story, sports in high school is usually a big thing in the
Yeah.
co-curricular activities. So when I was training Form 1,
Mm-hmm.
my dad asked me, so what sport will you be pursuing in high school? And I said, rugby. Because growing
Yeah.
up, I used to be very not skinny. I used to be very slim. Actually, this is big. Me,
Uh-huh.
this is the biggest I've ever been. So I
That's
and
interesting.
I used to get picked on by other students in from primary school.
Mm-hmm.
I decided I
Mm-hmm.
want to be big. How big?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be big, like On TV, there was one sport that used to dominate. Okay, two. There was athletics and then there was rugby. In rugby, there used to be some players. There was Colin Sinjera, there was Humphrey Kayange, there was Oscar
Yeah.
Ayodi, Oscar Oma, Andrew Amonde. I used to look at those guys and they were big. You know, when you're big, nobody can pick on you. So I decided that is my
Sure.
thing. I just want to finish
Mhm.
high school. When I get to primary, when I get to high school, I'll take rugby, play, be big, join the national team, be flying and getting paid. Then I also wanted to join the military because military guys are big, they can't be picked on. Yes, it was just a
Mhm.
form of giving payback to those
Mhm.
who guys who were picking on me. Yes. Now fast forward, I did KCP, passed, and I was called to guess where? St. Patrick's High
Mhm.
School Iten. Just your next door neighbor.
Uh-huh. That is the home of chess.
Hmm. Now, which sport
Yeah.
are you taking? Naturally, rugby. Hmm. I got in and I used to eat. I used to believe eating a lot will make you big. So
Mhm.
I ate. I'm telling you, I used to be, and this one don't tell anyone. I used
Okay.
I used to be
Mm.
the last person leaving the dining hall every single day. Every single day.
You had a goal
I
and you
had
were
a goal.
determined.
Yes. And I
Mhm.
used to go for rugby training. Hey, but I think after 3 months, you just notice, this is not working. But you keep going.
Mhm.
I think by the end of Form 1, I just, no, I'm not fitting in. I'm struggling. If anything, I'm losing more weight than I'm gaining.
Mm.
So it was, I
Uh-huh.
don't know if that's what heartbreak feels like, but I really cried that day. And then by accident, I encountered some sports. People are just sitting. They are, well, they look cool. They are always performing well in school. They are not in these scandals
Mhm.
or someone is playing truant ran away from school. Those chess
Mhm.
players used to be always at the top in exam rankings. They are very disciplined. They were very dressed smartly,
Mhm.
and you used to see them on parade. People like Lennox Mangi, there
Mhm.
was Duncan Opata, there was Eugene Leitich, although I don't know, maybe he took a break from chess. They
Mhm.
used to come to the parade grounds. They tell us we went to a tournament in Alliance High School, in this school in Kisumu, and we beat those players with
Mhm.
very little, because St. Patrick's is very academic driven, and we
Yeah,
beat
it is.
place with big buses, and then they show us the
Mhm.
trophy. Like, this is what we won, and then the school claps for them. I was like, wow.
Uh-huh.
So that was where they said, oh, that looks interesting. Let me give it a try.
Mhm.
And now we're coming to your side of teaching chess. I
Yeah.
encountered someone a fellow student, who taught me in a very arrogant
Mhm.
way. You encounter these pieces.
Mhm.
You have a board.
Mhm.
First of all, the board is intimidating. It has so many squares.
Mhm.
Why does it have so many
Mhm.
squares? Okay, the pieces look so many, and they look different. There's one which looks like a horse. There's one which looks like a castle. There's one which has like a
Yeah.
crown at the top. I'm
Mhm.
trying to tell him, able tell me step by step, what is this? What is this whole chess about? Are you chasing someone? What is the objective? I He got fed up. He just told me, this is the bishop, this is the knight, this is how it moves. Why does this one move straight, diagonal? And he almost beat me up.
Mhm.
I was almost quitting. Then I met someone else
Mhm.
who taught me like baby
Mhm.
steps according to my
Mhm.
pace, allowing me to ask questions.
Mhm.
That individual is Isaac Chelimo. I think
Wow.
he went to,
Uh-huh.
I don't know, he used to be the captain. And I said,
Mhm.
if I ever get someone to teach, that is exactly how I would want to teach them. That is what has inspired my teaching
Mhm.
style. How was it for you learning, especially you are the patron, you're learning chess through your students? How was it for you?
For me, it was. Uh, uh, Funny enough, nobody in the school ever got to know I didn't know chess.
Oh.
I guess if they are watching, they'll get to know today. Because I never ever told anyone I didn't know chess. A few, only a few, maybe two or three, who asked me, "How did you get to chess?" So those students were nice. But I didn't learn much from them because I felt like as a teacher, you can't keep telling them, "Sijaelewa," and you're supposed to be the teacher. So I think my ego didn't allow me to ask a lot of questions. So I decided to take myself to a training of trainers in Baringo on a Saturday. I paid for myself. I never told my principal. I just left. Went to Baringo to Kabarnet Boys High School for a training of coaches. And that is where Mokabi taught me a lot of chess. Actually, it's Mokabi who made me now get to understand chess better. And then after that, when I came back, I decided to learn again through YouTube. Something that happened within 2 weeks, we had a tournament in St. Patrick's. It was Iten Open. And that was the first time I took my students for a tournament. Now, I tried to hide as much as possible because I didn't want to be given a job and then people get to know I don't know anything. I didn't know even how to arbitrate. So I decided to avoid people and wait when the students were playing, then I go in. And I was very happy to see how the game was being played. The fact that there was no noise attracted me a lot. The fact that you could see just brains at work was very attractive to me. And then, funny enough, as I was avoiding people, I don't know what happened because we got done with the tournament on Sunday. I left, went home because I didn't want to interact with people because I was afraid I would be asked about chess and I know nothing. So when I went home, on Sunday evening, I'm called and I'm told, "You have been elected the secretary of North Rift Region." And
What?
being selected, yes, I was surprised. Now, how did these people, how am I going to be the secretary of a game I don't know? That one made me want to learn the game more. Actually, they elected me without knowing I knew nothing about chess. But that was now the point where I decided that I must know. By all means, I needed to know chess. And that is where I went into YouTube, read books, did a lot of training. Everywhere I would hear there was a training of chess. Actually, in Kenya, I've gone to 4 trainings, the same ones. I just kept repeating because I wanted to learn as much as I can about chess, especially now that I was elected to be the secretary.
Hey, your story is like a movie.
Yeah,
I don't know what you saw, but you decided to buy from your own pocket. I'm going to
yeah.
buy a board for these students, and we are.
Mhm.
Hey,
Actually, what made me buy the chessboards was the passion. Those students had a lot of passion. They really loved the game and they made me curious. What is in this game? And I also noticed that they were very smart kids in class. And I also used it. I teach maths, and I kept telling my students in class, if you can do well in chess, you can do well in maths. And to some extent, it changed some grades. So for me, I loved their passion, and that's what pushed me to buy boards for the school, because I knew my principal, if I start telling him to buy boards, he will even wonder what are these. And personally, I'd never seen a board too, so it was hard for me to go and tell someone to buy things that I don't know myself. So for the
yeah.
first batch of boards, I decided to buy them for me to learn and for my students to get better.
Wow. Because from my side, back in St. Patrick's, I came to a school whereby, first of all, the admin really, really appreciated and supported chess. First of all, we had a lot of bots, and there was a lot in the store. And then when we were nearing, I think it was nearing one it an open, and
Mm.
300 bots were bought. I think I was there when our patron
Wow.
was Shem, and
Uh-huh.
if not wrong, it
Wow.
was but they were quite a number. They were ordered from Naivas, then they were delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Shem Vilembwa
Wow.
taught me
Mm-hmm.
maths, and he was also my class teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Telling you, in
Mm-hmm.
every single maths lesson, he never missed to mention
Wow.
chess in good light.
Wow. Shem is very passionate about chess. I know his passion. And in my story, Shem is mentioned somewhere. He's
Oh.
actually the one who discovered my leadership in chess. So in my chess story, I can't fail to mention Shem because he's the one who noticed my leadership skills and actually noticed it in a very interesting way. When I became the secretary, the first regionals, I was not allowed to take students. I decided to be a bit smart, and when that the regionals passed, that was regionals of Elgeyo Marakwet. It was in Elgeyo Marakwet in a school called Moi Girls Kapsowar. Now, when I went to Kapsowar, I went alone because I didn't have students. I was not allowed to take them. The school didn't have money at that time. So I went alone, but I was feeling so bad that I don't have. I went as a leader, and it was feeling so bad. Luckily, some coaches told me, "Don't give up. You can still go to Kaimosi Girls. They have the regionals of Western Region will be done in Kaimosi Girls." Now I was wondering, I've not been allowed to take students at a very short distance. I don't know how I was going to manage. I didn't know I was going to manage to take them now to Western region. But I decided to no, I don't know. I just developed passion for the game because I remember I decided to hire Noah because I had 6 students. I hired a Noah from Iten to supposed to from Iten to Kaimosi Girls. Before I hired the Noah, I went to the principal and told him that I just need his permission. I'm sorry, I did a lot of lies in this chess journey because I lied to my principal that the parents have paid for it because I wanted to take students. And it's very bad for a teacher to go and say, I'm sponsoring the students. So for me, I decided to tell my principal, parents have called me and they want their children to go for regionals. Now, all I want is your permission.
The cash was from your
Hello?
own.
Yes. The principal gave me permission. So I just wanted permission because you cannot take students out without the principal's permission. So the principal gave me permission because the parents are the one paying for the kids, but he didn't know. I actually paid for their food. And the interesting bit, my students didn't know I was the one paying. I told the students it's the school that is supporting them. But the school knew it is the parents that is supporting. So I hired a no and we went to Kaimosi Girls, played, and out of the 6, 5 of them qualified to go to the nationals. And the
Wow.
excitement, you can't
Hey.
imagine the excitement. Now we came to the assembly and decided to brag about it. As much as to some extent getting 2 points, it is not very hard in chess. But now, as we decided, nobody will know it was 2 points. We're just going to say we qualified, and we were very excited about it. And we spoke in the assembly. I called them. We bragged the way we are going to Karatina for the nationals, and the way chess is taking them out of those are students who have never even gone beyond the 10. Now it was taking them beyond Nairobi. Now the excitement was real. And now this time round, I have students to take to the nationals. For me, hyping it in the assembly, I thought it would make it easier for me to take the students to the nationals. That is where my being secretary came in handy. When my students qualified to go to nationals, remember it's a day school. These are students who would pay a fee of up to 12,000 per year. Now you imagine going to nationals at that time would have costed them around 5,000. That is fees for half a year, according to them. So for me, I knew I can't tell the parents to pay, and I don't want to burden the school. I know, again, being a day school, the money is limited. Now I wrote a proposal requesting the county to support us with fuel. For me, I felt like if I fuel buses, nobody will stop my students from entering any bus because we didn't have a bus. So I walked to the county. I walked severally into those offices. And I think at some point they just felt like, huyu tumpatie fuel achane na sisi. They fueled for us 3 buses for all students from Elgeyo Marakwet to go to nationals. I went back to the teachers and told them we have free fuel. What we need is buses. Give us buses. Luckily, we got 3 buses from 3 schools. And the buses were fueled. You imagine we carried fuel in 20-liter jerrycans because we were given a lot of fuel by the county government. Now, for me, I was okay. I have fare, I have transport. Because looking at the distance from Elgeyo Marakwet to Karatina, that was very far. I knew it wouldn't be anything less than maybe 4,000 to and fro. So when I got to the fuel, I went back to my principal and told him, sir, the parents have agreed to pay for the fare. Now, for me, fare was, I told the principal that the parents have agreed to pay for the fare of the students. Now, I want you to help me pay for the registration. And I really appreciate the principal because, day school, it's very hard to get that kind of money. My principal was surprised and asking me, you mean a day school can do well in chess? But the principal paid for me for each student. I remember we were paying 700 shillings, and he paid for each student 700. That is 3,500. And I knew it wouldn't be hard. So the principal paid for me that 500 and told me, if you have fare, that is okay. And I told him the parents are paying fare and accommodation. So the principal needed to pay only registration fee. He helped me register the students. After that, I had the problem of accommodation. Accommodation was 700 per day at that time, and multiplied by 4 days. That means the student needed to pay 2,800. Now I went to the parents again, called them, and told them now the principal is willing to pay fare and and registration fee. So I'm requesting the parents to help me pay for accommodation. Now I told them to pay only 2,500. I was going to pay 300 each because I felt like rounding off to 2,500 would be easier for the parents. And now the parents are very excited that their kids are going out of Elgeyo Marakwet beyond Nairobi at only 2,500. So the parents supported me and they were very excited about it. So for me, I have fuel from county, I have accommodation from parents, and I have registration from school. And for me, I decided I was going to take care of myself. I managed to take students to Karatina, and that is where Shem noticed this is a leader. Yeah. And Shem really appreciated that and told me, he kept telling me, I've noticed this, you're a leader. And I appreciate that about him, that he noticed me and gave me a platform to grow as a chess leader.
Because I am looking at it one, this is a journey of faith, as you put it. Elgeyo Marakwet,
Sure.
Elgeyo Marakwet is not,
Yeah.
it has only one sport that is dominating, and that is athletics.
Yes.
So, but I wouldn't even blame the county or the school administration for wondering.
Sure.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then look at the logistics. Sports like volleyball, yes, that would be understood. They need a field, a net. The field needs to be maintained. They need
Yeah.
the games kits, the balls, the all that. Chess looks like it's just a cupboard. People, small pieces. It looks like fun. Why would I
Yeah.
even consider that? And then two, I would really commend your level of integrity because this is fuel from the county, there's cash from parents, there's cash from the school. Someone with a very limited levels of integrity would just see this as a cash cow. We qualified for the first regionals, I got cash. Sasa hapa tunapona. I will take the cash for the regionals, I take the cash for parents. You're saying it's
Mm-hmm.
1,500, double that. So we go to the Ninis, yes,
Yeah.
but I'm not benefiting because, truth be told, teachers in Kenya, their pay could be higher. It could use some improvement.
Yes,
So this is almost like free money. So for that, your
for sure.
flaws, that level of integrity is A1. But Ebu, let me ask.
Thank
So
you.
as you Karibu,
Yes,
as you're chipping in into your pocket, not once, not twice, you're
yes,
funding, practically funding something you're still learning yourself.
yeah,
There's limited exposure. You're just operating on faith, all of you. Did it hit you at some point
sure.
that can this one? What if it goes sideways? What if we go, we get beaten? What if?
Yeah.
What if?
It's very interesting. It never ever ever crossed my mind that we can be beaten. That's the funny bit. I think for me it was just about the excitement. My students are going for regionals. I wanted to expose them, so I'm willing to give them that chance. Because I told you, whatever motivated me was just the level of passion and then their level of discipline. These were very disciplined students, so they motivated me to go the extra mile. And I just felt like it never ever crossed my mind that they can lose. And number two, I was not doing anything for myself. I think for me, it was just about the game. It was just about exposure. And so I never ever thought it's a loss on my side. It never crossed my mind that it could be equalized to a loss.
And then the other
Yes.
aspect of you've come from a tournament, that hyping of the students
Yeah.
in front of the parade. It's
The
just two
school.
points, but
Yes.
you're hyping as if they. That one really, really, especially in a boys' school, hey, that one uplifts their morale.
Yeah, it
Hey,
did. It did. It
nice.
did.
For
Yeah, and I got so many students in chess after that. Every student was like, Madam, I want to learn chess. Madam, can you teach me chess? And
hey,
I think because of the hype, and they were like, You mean you're going to Nyeri? We were saying we were going to Nyeri, though it was Karatina. And my students were very excited about going away from Elgeyo Marakwet. The excitement was something else. And they influenced the rest. Everybody loved the game and they all got attracted to it.
wonderful. Now, aside
Yeah.
from the tournaments, chess
Mm.
can be used as an educational tool.
Sure.
Were you only aiming for tournaments like this? We went, we finished at this number of points. This was the final ranking. Next, we
Hmm.
are going to be like 5 ranks higher. Or did you have another agenda in mind? Because as an educational tool, chess is used to impart the 21st century skills of
Yes.
critical thinking, collaboration, and all that. And if you had that in mind, did you see it paying off, or you are provided we are going to tournaments? These are small steps. Me, I'm fine.
Eh, I said earlier that my students, I would use chess to prompt my students. I would tell them, if you can play chess, even if you can just move a piece, it means you're smart enough, and so you don't have a reason for failing. And especially being a teacher of mathematics, for me, that was a very good tool of motivating students and telling them, if you can sit down and think and it's like you're fighting a war on a table, that makes mathematics very easy for you. And again, for me, it was a tool of discipline. Coming from a day school, you can easily find students getting idle. We know an idle mind can be the workshop of the devil. And that is what I used a lot to tell my principal that now this is a game. Students love it because they don't have to sweat, they don't have to get tired. So because it attracted very many, it would keep them busy from involving themselves in the wrong things. So for me, it was a tool, educational tool. Actually, it really helps students in their to build their brain capacity. And we normally say that if you use your brain so much, you're expanding it. So the moment they are solving chess puzzles, solving chess positions, and trying to win their game, it means they are playing with their minds. They are expanding their brains. And I can easily tell you, I can confirm to you that chess helped most of my students to even improve in maths. To date, most of my all those students who passed my arms through chess, most of them succeeded. They managed to go to colleges, some went to universities. And for me, I would appreciate that chess can do a lot, much more than just competing. For us, of course, we would love to be on the podium. We actually, the best day in mixed school in our region. We carry the trophy. My school carries the trophy. And aside from that, of course, there is the prestigious part of it, feeling good about it. But the more the students would play chess, you can easily see improvement in terms of their academic work and in terms of their discipline. It is a tool for maintaining discipline in school. You can easily put students somewhere, involve them in chess instead of them idling and ending up doing very strange things. Those students will find themselves doing something more constructive, in the process developing their minds and enjoying the game.
And did you have any expectations as you are going? How do you handle, I don't like to call these losses. I like to
Mm.
say you either win, you
Or learn the
learn.
lessons.
Yes.
Mm.
These hard lessons, how did you instill in them the virtue of resilience and not keep giving up? Just there's always something to look forward to. The other side of chess, which is not winning.
I think when we came to chess, it was very funny for us, both my students and me. We never ever focused on being the podium finishers. We focused more on having fun and playing the game. Of course, we would have loved to be podium finishers, and that is it is another thing. But we never ever pressurized ourselves, my students and I. There is no single day we had pressure. And every time a student would play and then come to me and tell me, Madam, I learned, because we never say we lose. I learned, Madam. And I'm like, yeah, that is a start. What lesson did you learn? We would always go through the game and look at the lesson inside there. So at no point did my students ever feel like they had the pressure to win. There was no pressure. And for us, coming back with a trophy was just the thing. There were other benefits aside from being the podium finisher. You arrive in school and we are hyping it. We used to say you get the rare handshake. That is the principal's handshake. If
Wow.
you do well, it's very rare to shake your principal's hand as a student. And the students are excited. For us, that is a lot of motivation. The fact that their self-esteem was lifted. And for us, we would come back to school, whether you lost or not, all of us are getting excited. And I wouldn't mention so and so lost. I would just give out certificate and say, this is the team that represented us. Let's clap for them. Later, I'll go to the principal's office and tell them, now these ones are proceeding. In the assembly, we don't talk about losses. We just hype the nice things so that you don't also destroy the self-esteem and make them feel like it's all about winning. So as long as you have represented the school, we would be proud of you.
I'm telling you, it is not always about medals. So even if someone wasn't really like a very good player, that
Yeah,
self-esteem they will transfer it just somewhere. For me, I was body-wise, I was small. In class, I was not
yeah.
among very bad. But
Mm-hmm.
and credit to Shem, he really instilled that you are doing something to everyone. And
Mm-hmm.
when I just
Yeah.
started drawing games, started beating even the so-called top players in school, that is when I
Uh-huh.
knew nothing is impossible in this world. And that is
Exactly.
experience I'm transferring it even right now to anything I
Yes,
do.
and that is the spirit. Yeah.
Mhm. Now, I'd like us
Mm.
to shift gears a bit and talk about your journey as a
Mhm.
chess mom.
Now, that is another interesting story. The first time I went for the national, I left my kids at home and I traveled alone with my students. While at the nationals, I'm called that my house elf has left home. She has disappeared. She actually got married when I was away. And you know the stress of being a mom, you're away and your children are like they're alone because the house elf decided to get married. So for me, it bothered me. I had to call relatives to go check on the kids. And that week was not easy. The 4 days were not easy for me. So when I came, and then I also noticed that there were kids playing chess. And I felt like, oh, so it's not only high schoolers, children can play. And I felt like if my kids were playing chess, I would have traveled with them and they wouldn't have to be left alone in the house. My two boys, that's Damien and Darian. So I came back and decided to teach them chess. I taught them chess in 2018 December holiday. I taught them the moves. Actually, I didn't teach Darian. I taught my firstborn, that is Damien, and my niece. I have a niece. I stay with a niece. So my niece and Damien would play, and Darian would watch. Darian was very young at that time. He was around 3 years old. So he would watch the brother and the cousin playing. He showed some interest, but for me, I was feeling like he's still young, and I never bothered him. So one day, when the corona set in, first of all, I took them to regionals, to the first regionals in 2019 before Corona set in. So when Corona set in, I would stay with them. And you know, during Corona, we were very idle. And I remember at that time we were building our church, and my kids were wanted to give to contribute to the church construction. So in the process, now you know they wanted to earn money. So the dad started telling my niece and Damien, whoever wins will get 1,000 shillings. So they would play in the evening as we are the arbiters, me and the dad. And when the whoever wins gets 1,000 bob. So the first time Damien gets 1,000, and the other girl, Denise, gets 1,000, and Darian doesn't have anything. We give him like 200 shillings to go and contribute in church. These others are contributing 1,000, and he's feeling like no. So that is how Darian decided to start playing chess because he felt like I can do this thing. I also want to earn. So he started learning through the brother and the niece. So during the day, would tell the brother, let's play a game. And the brother would beat him. The niece would beat him. He used to be beaten. He goes to his bedroom, cries, and then comes back. I challenge you for another game. He would challenge 10 times in a day. And before we knew it, after some time, we started taking them for regionals. Now, that is the only regionals or the only nationals I ever went alone without my kids was Karatina. So after that, I would always travel with them, support them, talk to them, encourage them. Of course, there is the tears, the crying at first, but with time they grow out of that. So Darian started most time. I would take him to tournaments, nationals. They both of them would come back with 6 points, 6.5, 6. I come back and tell myself, these kids, I know next time they'll do better. And we never used to do anything different. That is where I learned that you cannot do the same thing and expect different results. For me, I would come back, train them, and then I take them to nationals. They get 6.5, and I wonder what's not happening. One day, I was speaking to President Wanjala, the president of the federation. I was telling him, I don't know why my kids keep getting 6.5, 6. And I told him, I believe next year you will be a champion. And Wanjala told me, your kids need an advanced coach. And then he told me, you can talk to Coach Hugh. And for me, I came back. I never reached out to Coach Hugh. For some reason, I pictured that in my head, I created a person who I was not able to approach. Then one day, while organizing my regionals, Coach Yu comes and helps me organize the hall. And then he introduces himself. My name is Hugh Misiko. And I'm like, so you're the one Onjala was telling me to look for. Now I have my children, this and this and this. I explained to him. I remember that time we went to Kisi, played, and he watched Darian's game, and he told me this boy can go far. So we came back, and after nationals, I remember in June, Coach Yu decided to train Darian, and in July we went to this school in Gilgil, and Darian managed to be the top, to be a national champion. For us, that was something
Hey,
else. It was
congrats.
very interesting, yeah, and we were very happy that we now have a national champion in chess. And now that one we did type, but we were surprised that we just found it all over social media, and people were like, a child from Elgeyo Marakwet is managed to be a national champion. And everybody, it was just interesting, even to the leaders. And that is how Darian became a national champion. And then the second time again, so he became a national champion under seven, and then that was in 20. Do I remember the year? And then he again became the national champion under eight. So
Wow.
just from training and being passionate by himself, he managed to reach those heights. I think he was among the first one in North Rift to manage to be a national champion, and everybody was like, "Who is this boy?" Yeah, and the journey
Wow.
has been beautiful. Supporting him and watching him grow in chess has been very satisfying for us. And I would also say that chess has. Darian has become a national champion. Damien is still working on his skills, and he's also among is doing well. He's doing well, though he has not become a national champion. He's doing well, and my niece is also doing well. The only interesting bit about this is that my kids have become very responsible. Chess has made them organized, responsible, and very easy. They have become people who can easily express themselves, and I owe that to chess. I can say chess transformed their lives in a way. And of course, it also boosts their self esteem, because you will hear them saying, "Oh, Darren is a national champion," and he feels good about it. So I've seen them grow to be better kids, courtesy of chess.
And while we're still on that same thread of kids and national champions,
Mm.
so you had this kid who didn't really know how to play, and then he's grown up the ladder, is now winning events. Of
Yes.
course, the self-esteem is built, but
Mhm.
a side effect of that is sometimes ego. Like, Mimi, I'm a champion. What are you
Yeah.
telling me? I am even going to play outside the country.
Yeah.
How do you strike a balance between, hey, first of all, you're still a child, you're my child, I am your mom, there's this
Yeah.
hierarchy, and
Yes.
there's champions, and then there's academics. How do you
Yeah.
balance that?
I don't. I just. I don't know how to put it. For me, chess has not given them pride. The two boys are down to earth. If you are to meet, especially Damian, Darian is a little more loud, but Darian will rarely, you will never hear him mention that he's a national champion. He never mentioned it. And I don't know why. There was a time I was asking him, "How do you feel as a national champion?" And he would tell me, "I don't like the attention people give me." That is a kid. I don't know how he gets to think like that. But for him, he doesn't like a lot of limelight. Of course, he will feel nice about it, but he would rarely brag about it. And I also always remind them that it's not by their power, and it's not anything to be proud about. Instead, you need to help others reach where you are. And I have very many kids who come to my home for Darian and Damian to teach them chess. So, but just letting them know that they don't have to be selfish because they are national champions or they are in the limelight in chess makes them realize that it's not everything in life. I also make sure that I've monitored them academically, and I can easily say from the moment they played chess, I've never seen a lot of dropping in school. I've always seen them climbing up the ladder. As much as they do well in chess, they also do well in class. And that's how I would encourage every parent out there who may think that their child is wasting time in chess. There is no wasting time in chess. A child who plays chess is like a child who's calculating mathematics. The moment they are done with their game, at some point they will go out there and do their homework very well. I've also instilled in them a thought that now that you're a chess player, you need to know that you don't have a lot of time. That means your time is very precious. You have to manage your time as much as possible because you have an extra thing. You're doing something extra apart from academics. You're playing chess. So if you're playing chess and at the same time doing academics, if you waste your time, you'll be the one at a loss. So you find them concentrating and maximizing their time because those are virtues you've decided to instill in them that they should not waste their time, they should do their best. And number two, we've always encouraged them to be kind, and we appreciate the feedback from the school because the teachers would always tell us that these are very kind kids. We don't take it for granted, and we don't want to brag that it is us parents who have made it happen. We believe it's by the grace of God. It's more
Mm.
by grace. Sometimes you may do everything, but may not be able to control kids. So for me, whatever we've managed to do to them, God has also played a role. And taking them to church and making them know that they shouldn't be very proud has helped them. And the dad is very supportive. I can also mention him there. He's supported them so much and he's always watching their chess journey. He's always there pushing them to go to the next limits. And the dad likes doing the reward system. You do well, you're rewarded. So I think it also makes them want to work hard, do better academically, and also in chess.
Now, speaking of rewards, you mentioned a few minutes ago that during COVID, cash used to be the reward. You win a game, you get 1,000 bob, and it
Mhm,
happened.
mhm,
Darian, 200 bob. There's been a bit of conversation on the choice of rewards to kids. That is,
mhm,
by kids, I'm talking juniors. By juniors, I mean in chess,
mhm.
juniors are under 18. That's
Yeah.
especially in tournaments. Cash should not be given to kids, maybe trophies, but on another scale, some parents, not all, some parents have been getting concerned that
Mhm,
so I first of all, it's an investment. Then invest a huge amount of money, that is accommodation, registration, training.
mhm,
You come to a tournament, you're given a trophy worth 3K, 2K,
mhm,
some
mhm,
medals. What's your take
mhm,
on the ideal reward system, and should cash be part of it, not even just at home, but
mhm.
in national events? We've seen tournaments whereby players have received tablets, laptops,
Yeah.
and all that. Some even received sponsorships for
Mhm,
education. How
mhm.
do you think would be the ideal reward system for such?
Yeah. I would say there is no ideal reward.
Mm.
There may never be ideal reward because there was a time we used to go to Nakuru for tournaments, not because they were offering money, but because we used to say we are going for trophy hunt. Nakuru used to give the best trophies, and we would always go to Nakuru. Those days when we were still young in chess, we would go to all the way to Nakuru to play juniors. We wouldn't play open because we know we wouldn't get a trophy. So there are people who will appreciate the trophies, especially the upcoming, the young kids, the new entrants in the game will appreciate the trophies. Those who don't appreciate the trophies are majorly those who are the advanced chess players. The interesting bit is they rarely play in juniors. So if I say we need to, okay, it is okay to add something, especially, and the interesting bit is now it is the parents who are talking about we would have been, my kid should have been given money. So it looks like because the parent is talking about I've spent a lot, it means the parent want to get to take the reward on behalf of the kid, which may not be very nice. Someone once said that money is very tricky. It may not reach the intended person, and you can easily find yourself using the money instead of giving it to the kids. I believe very few people are money disciplined, so that if you're to get that money, utajipata you want to pay for fees. Of course, it is okay sometimes to pay fees using that money as a parent, because you cannot struggle when you have money. But I also believe that the kids should get a reward for what they have done. And those laptops would be the best, so that you're giving laptops, tablets, something that would be a gift voucher, so that a kid is getting something tangible that at the end of the day they would go home and feel nice about it. But now, still, trophies, especially now that we are talking about junior tournaments, trophies are good. Trophies are good because advanced kids may never play the juniors. And let me tell you, every time we give a kid that trophy, they feel so good. As a parent, I remember they used to go for the trophy and they would come back and arrange them and count them and feel nice about it. So still, I wouldn't say that there is a very ideal way of rewarding kids. I believe depending on an organizer and how much money they have, as much as we would love to give trophies, it's also okay to give them maybe gift vouchers. And you realize that most of those other gifts, like laptops, those are given to open sections and lady sections. It's very rare to get people who give laptops to junior section in tournaments. The reason being, those junior kids have not reached the level of competitive chess. That is still exposure. We are still exposing them. So giving them a trophy would lift their spirit and want them to work harder. I believe that is the level of juniors when we are giving out trophies. But now, when it comes to the serious, the open tournaments, apart from trophy, I normally see most people give them money. But I would rather they are given a tangible gift. Even me as a parent, sometimes I can fail there. Mtoto atakuitisha pizza na umepewa pesa zake, maybe you've been given around maybe 5,000. There was a time my kids won 5,000, and when they asked for pizza, I would easily buy using their money. And I believe if they hadn't won, I would still have bought it with my money. So giving juniors money, sometimes it's like giving the parents money. I don't think it is a bad thing, but I don't think that was the intended purpose. That was not, it was not rewarding the parent, it's rewarding the child. So we'd rather give them gifts that will touch them and would motivate them to do more. By the way, I once met a high school kid. He was an upcoming national champion. And at some point, the kid was telling me, I can't wait to finish high school to leave the chess alone. And I wondered why a kid would want to drop chess altogether. And the kid told me, I feel like I'm being used by my parents to play chess for them to earn money. So you may be thinking that you're taking that money, but kids are interesting. And someone said that kids are not very good at listening, but they are very good at observing and imitating. They may not listen to what you are telling them, but they will observe what you're doing and they'll carry it. So I believe that kid may never have told his parents or her parents that I don't like you taking my money. But the parents, because you feel like you have invested, you feel some sort of entitlement, you take that money. In the process, you are demotivating your child unknowingly. And now that maisha si rahisi, you can easily be tempted to take that money. So I'd rather they're given tangible gifts. The juniors can take their trophy and smile all their way home. And then those ones in the open can be, and even the juniors can also be given a voucher, a gift voucher maybe, or a gift package. That would be good. That's my take on that.
That was very, very well put. And while we're still on the organization part and a bit of training,
Mm.
allow me to pick your mind as an organizer. There's been
Yeah.
a sort of debate in the chess circles recently. I'm talking about prize fund for the open. Now you're talking about the adults, open and ladies
Mhm.
section. Some quarters advocated for equal prize fund because open section, ladies section registration fees are the same. Why not have both having equal prize fund? Because the status quo is that open section, which is mostly having male. So for those the layman who don't understand, open section means a section whereby ladies and gentlemen, even kids can play there. But ladies section is specifically dedicated to ladies to nurture the numbers.
Mhm.
So open section has more participants and higher prizes. Ladies section, the numbers are still growing, but the prize fund is usually very, very low. So equal prize fund, no. This one, why put a high prize fund or equal to a section which is very, very, the numbers are not nini. How do we move? Is it worthwhile to have equal or
Okay, I am an organizer. I organized a tournament recently, Eldoret Open, and my prize fund was not the same. And of course, I was reached out by some people, and I understand their sentiments. Yeah, for me, ladies, open section is open for anyone. If the ladies feel like there is more money in the open section, they can go there and get that money. I'm sorry to, I know it will rattle some people, my statement here, but now that it is open section, it means it is open for anyone who would have loved to earn that money. The ladies section normally attracts very few ladies. I don't know how it will make sense to me for assuming that five ladies in my first Eldoret Open, I had only around, I think, eight ladies, not eight. I don't remember the exact number, but I walk figure 20. And then I have over 100 men, over 100 in the open section. So I feel like, fighting 100 people to be able to be top means you have really worked hard. And then working hard to beat 15 people and be top may not be as much hard work as those in the open section. I know it is a subject for discussion, and at least for Chess Kenya, I appreciate Angela that he's been able to give the ladies a car and the men a car. I think that happened last year, and that was a milestone because this is a debate that may be an ending. It can never end because we both have different ways of looking at it. For me, I look at it that this is open. It's not being indicated men. The only sad bit, I don't know why there is no men section. Maybe they should have been the men section and the ladies section so that they have equal price funds. But now that this one is called open section, it means even the ladies can play there. But now the men cannot come and play in the ladies section. And I believe it's just to favor the ladies. It's meant to favor them, for them to grow better because we cannot compare the men's muscle to the ladies' muscle, especially the upcoming ones. Of course, there are ladies who can beat the men, and if they feel strong enough, they are allowed to compete for the prize fund. I don't know why we like to look at it like it is the men's section and the ladies section, yet this is an open section and the ladies section. I don't know who came up with that arrangement in chess, but for me, I feel like now that even as ladies, you have an opportunity to go and play. Unless one day we just decide that there is no ladies section, we just put them in one pool. and the best person goes to the prize fund. But as long as we have ladies section and the ladies are few, it is subject to discussion, and I believe I'll one day be convinced. Ann Kung is on record. He really talked to me about it when we were in Eldoret Open in a way that I had never thought about it, because they also have their reasons. If you look at the challenges which ladies go through, I think they also deserve, if you look on the flip side, the ladies may deserve that prize fund, because a lady has a challenge of maybe you have a baby, you have to go and maybe breastfeed in the car as you wait for the next game, or breastfeed somewhere as you wait for the next game. And I feel like maybe that's why ladies drop out after they get babies. Maybe that is why mostly they drop out, because the reward is not as enticing, and they have gone through a lot. Being a mom, a new mom, you are there maybe struggling with children at home. So again, if we look on the flip side, uh, ladies may not be able to compete with the men favorably. So if again we say they have a chance to play in the open, it will be a bit unfair to them, because they cannot go compete with people who have the whole time to prepare in the world. Like a man will just leave the hall and go there in their phone and try to chat a way forward. But ladies have also challenges that may make us feel like they deserve the prize fund. But as for now, I think it is a subject to be discussed. It's something that needs a lot of discussion, and we need to look at it in all perspectives before we just criticize people. Because also as an organizer, sometimes, if, for example, in Eldoret Open, the best open was getting 45,000. I'm imagining if I was to say the best lady gets 45,000 too, it may not be easy for me as an organizer. So again, looking on the side of the organizers, it is quality for money. You can't tell me 15 ladies have competed, you want to give them 45,000 against 200 men who have competed to get the top prize, which is 45,000. So looking at the challenges of the ladies, and looking at them, and also looking at the reasonability, we also need to be as reasonable as possible, so that we are giving a prize fund that makes sense, that is equal to the task that you have done. I believe reward is not just about giving out money for the sake of it. It's about rewarding effort. So if I'm rewarding effort, you cannot tell me 15 people competing against each other can be equalized to 200 people competing against each other. The person who will win amongst the 200 must have put a lot of effort. So, looking at that too, I think that is a very controversial thing that I may not have an exact answer for it for now. Maybe I'll need Anne to convince me a little more, or to give me some more facts why we should make ladies have the unequal price fund. But at least right now in Kenya, we appreciate the fact that we have equal price fund for nationals. But if you look at it again, we are competing 11 ladies and 11 men. So that is a balance. Unlike this other one where we are competing 215. So again, if you look at it in the national perspective, these are the best of 11 in the open section, the best of 11 in the men's section. So they deserve an equal prize fund.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
there's an idea I've been having about improving the status of the ladies'
Mm.
participation. It appears to be a numbers issue, the way I hear you talk and others. So,
Yeah.
if we can get the ladies' numbers up, maybe something about prize fund cannot be equalized. So there is this idea, and it's good. This is International Women's Month. As we're making this podcast, you are a woman in chess leadership. What's your take on, in the zeal of nurturing and promoting ladies' participation? Do you think ladies only tournaments being organized will help attract more numbers and maybe in the near future help contribute, not only focusing on prizes, just increasing their numbers in general. Do you think that will be
Yeah, it can help, but I don't know how ladies only, unless you're telling me the ladies are scared of going for a tournament where they meet men. Because at the end of the day, there is a ladies section and the open section. I believe it doesn't change much. We can only make ladies as comfortable as possible during tournaments. For example, organizers may find a way of ensuring that, like young mothers in chess, are as comfortable. Maybe they have a nice room where they can, where someone can look after their kid as they play chess, so that they have peace. They can have a nice place where they can maybe express, so that their kids can feed as they play chess. So I believe it's also, we also need instead of creating lady only tournaments, it's easier to try and make them as comfortable as possible during tournaments, so that we're giving them a very good, a conducive environment where when someone is going for a tournament, they are not worried about, if my baby is to sleep, where will I make them sleep? Where will I, where will I put them to sleep? If my baby needs breastfeeding, do I have a nice place where I can just sit down and breastfeed? Because not all of us have cars. Those who have cars may sit in their cars and breastfeed, or even make their babies stay with their house helps in the car. But now, a few people have cars. Now, those people who don't have cars would need our support. I believe ladies need more support chess wise. We can as well say maybe the ladies' registration fee can be lowered a bit to attract them. But for me, organizing a ladies only events may not make so much difference, because I don't think they have an issue with playing at the same place with men.
now the good thing about this platform is that
Mhm.
I created it not for it to be a complaining platform or controversies and scandals. It's all about redefining chess. And you just mentioned about challenges women face and the need to make it to have a more comfortable experience. I'd like to share an interesting development in the chess circles.
Mhm.
And this is it. In 2024, FIDE introduced the Chess Mom project during the 2024 Olympiad, and this announcement was recently made that this is making a comeback in the 2026 Olympiad for the purposes of promoting motherhood and
Wow.
professional chess, so that it's just a comfortable experience. You can look
Mhm.
this up, this article, just Google
Okay.
FIDE Chess Mom Project. I don't know
Mhm.
what's your take on this initiative.
I should appreciate FIDE for thinking about women in such a way, because mothers need as much support as possible, especially mothers who are chess players. And Eugene, you will agree with me that most ladies, once they become mothers, they disappear in the chess circles. Very few of them remain. And I believe it's because of the lack of support, maybe. And maybe no one recognizes their special needs as moms. So as I look at this Chess Mom project, I would appreciate FIDE for thinking about mothers and realizing that they need as much support as possible for them to be able to continue their chess dreams and at the same time be comfortable as mothers. In other words, motherhood should not stop anyone from pursuing their goals. And it's only support that will enable women to continue forging forward and wanting to achieve their goals in chess. But what they need is our support. All of us in the chess family or in the chess fraternity, we should look out to all ways of supporting chess moms. And at least FIDE has shown us the way. I believe this one will trickle down to the rest of us.
Right. And still speaking of women and celebrating motherhood, this story of professional chess and motherhood played in the Olympiad while around 8 months pregnant, and hey, that is no mean feat.
It
And
isn't. Mhm.
so yeah, let's keep this conversation going. Now I'd like us to shift back to leadership. You recently elected the chairperson of the Uasin County Chess Association. I'd like you to tell us what this role entails and how is it being a woman in leadership. Have you encountered gender bias, if at all, being the leader of, for a large part, male-dominated sports, male leaders for the most. And if there's one thing you could improve in chess as a whole, and for your lady counterparts, what would it be? From a leadership perspective, maybe from an organizer's perspective, I'd like to get your thoughts as we wind up.
Okay, I was elected as the chairperson of Uasin County Chess Association in the year 2024. And it has been a journey. For me, I want to really appreciate the people I was elected with. I think they have given me a lot of support, and they have been my pillar. I may be the dream bearer, but they're always there to support my dreams. And that is how far we have come in chess as Wasingishu County. As a leader, the first thing we felt we should do in the county was to introduce chess to schools. And I would like to appreciate the gift of Chess Foundation through Phyllis, because she really supported me when I was trying to grow chess in Uasin County and generally in North Rift. I was able to walk around, and we walked around with my officials. And we would decide that today we are going to Nandi County. We carry chess boards, we do our own fuel, our own transport. We go, we distribute chess, we introduce chess to schools. There was a time we walked and we met kids playing chess by the roadside, and to our surprise, it was one of our boards that they were using, and they were like, we were given this board in school, and being that I'm one of the best, my teacher told me to come over the weekend and train with it. So for us, that has been a landmark for us. As we speak, we have very many primary school kids who play chess. When we started Wasingishu County, primary schools who were playing chess were very few. But as we speak, we have very many. In fact, our population at the regionals is more of primary school kids than high school kids. And we were feeling like we need to grow them so that as they grow with the game, they can get better. They have more opportunities because these are young kids. They get to have more opportunities. And like introducing it in high school, a student gets 4 years, and then before we know it, they have left. They have not gotten the game. So they either give up or some would go on with it. So for us, we decided to concentrate majorly on primary schools, but we still went to some secondary schools, especially day schools, and those schools which we felt like may not be able to purchase chess equipment. So we distributed. So for me, the highlight of my leadership is the fact that I've been able to the major thing that I wanted to do was to start Eldoret Open, because we never used to have tournaments. We would always go to Nairobi, Kisumu, Nakuru, and when we were starting, it wasn't easy for us. It was the way I said, it was just a journey of faith, a journey of faith, because we just decided to believe in ourselves as a leadership, and we had to make sure that we have given the people their dream of having a chess tournament. And I really appreciate that leadership. I appreciate Felix, that's my Secretary General. Coach Shu is my Vice Chair. I appreciate Jonathan, who is my treasurer, Mercy, and many others. They have really been of great support to us. I've never felt I've never felt any sort of intimidation around them. It happens that I walk around men. I walk around men. They have never made me feel less. And I appreciate the fact that they would always ask me, Madam, how do we go about it? And they give me a lot of respect. I believe it is them who have made me reach where I am. The fact that I have people who can hold my hand has helped me reach where I am as a leader in chess. I would really love that one day chess becomes a name in Wasingishu, where you talk about chess and everybody knows about it. It's not like people don't know about it right now, but the larger population still don't have a lot of idea about the game. But we are developing it, and we are giving ourselves around 2 years. Chess will be Wasingishu County will be a powerhouse in chess. County leadership have also been of great help to me. We've had the former sports CEC of sports of Wasingishu County has walked the journey with us, and she has been very passionate about chess. And Madam Lucy helped us a lot to support us, to encourage us, to tell us we can do it. And she's very passionate about chess. So I also appreciate her so much as a county leadership, because she connected us with the county. We may not have done much with the county, but I believe we are going to do much, especially now that our association is duly registered by Registrar of Sports. I believe better things are coming. So another highlight is what I feel like I have achieved as a leader is to reach that point where we have our own certificate. And I appreciate the Chess Kenya Federation for the support. I appreciate also my team for the support, because it's not easy to get those papers. It involves a lot of money. The fact that you were able to do it without struggling is something that I really appreciate about the leadership of Wasingishu County.
Now, the story of chess in Eldoret cannot be complete without mentioning an institution that has played home and venue for Eldoret Open. This is one of the major tournaments in the country. It has all been the Grand Prix event for 2 years in a row, 2024 and 2025. How did this come about? Because last I interacted with you, you were running around looking for venues, most of the time getting turned down. The St. Luke's Hospital, was it just an offer? You knew someone? Did you get
Mhm.
a favorable
Yeah.
registration fee? How did
Mhm.
this come about? And are we looking at it as your resident venue for subsequent events, or you're open to shifting to other locations?
Okay.
Mm.
I remember immediately I was elected as the chair of Wasingishu County. I remember that day when I was giving my speech, I promised the people to bring tournament, especially Eldoret Open, to Eldoret. I didn't know I was going to do it, but with a lot of faith and determination, it happened. Actually, our first Eldoret Open didn't have a sponsor. That's why I'm saying it takes faith, because mostly you'll get people saying that it's not possible to organize an open tournament. I actually planned to go for a loan, because for me Eldoret Open had to happen by all means. It had to happen, and I was feeling like I couldn't have been a leader in Eldoret for almost a year, and Eldoret Open has not happened. So it took faith and a lot of determination. And I would say I have a very good team of leadership in Wasingishu County, which has helped me walk this journey. I didn't do it alone. I might have been the vision carrier, but I needed people to make it happen. And I appreciate the fact that we managed to pull it. And right now, it is in the calendar of activities. I'm sure people will always say, we are going to Eldoret Open next year, and we thank God for that. St. Luke Hospital actually did us a lot of favor, and just like I had said, our chess journey has been interesting from the word go. For St. Luke Hospital, I remember I was trying to get a venue, and how I walked in Eldoret. I walked to Kapseret. I came back to Eldoret town, to the far ends of Eldoret, and venues were very expensive. I was given a quote of up to 600,000. And you remember we didn't have a sponsor in our first Eldoret Open. And now that I had promised my team that kikiumana ni mimi nitabeba msalaba, I was looking for a venue that would be favorable. So in the process of looking for a venue, I walked around and all that. And then one day I was just going to hospital, and I met a chess parent on my way. The chess parent is working in a referral hospital. Now a parent from Uasin Gishu, thank you so much. You know yourself. Now this parent looked at me and he was like, Faith, you look so tired. What's up? And I told him I've been walking up and down looking for a venue. And he told me, why don't you try St. Luke Hospital? I can call someone who can help you, show you the place, and then we can talk to the management. Do you know, I didn't even know St. Luke Hospital had a conference hall at that time. So we went to that lady. She introduced me to the person in charge of marketing. And interestingly, the person was very receptive. And he was like, welcome to St. Luke. We are excited to host you. Of all the venues that have been going, no one was excited to listen or to even hear about chess. But now the marketing officer was very excited, and he was like, this would be a first. This is a first thing in Eldoret, would be the first ones to host. That was a relief. I went to look at the venue, and it was very beautiful. There is a river flowing by. So we were joking with my team, and we were like, mtu akipata stress ya chess anaangalia tu hiyo river and the thoughts will move with the water, and we were like it would be therapeutic, which it was. And the venue became our home, and they have always accepted us on and on. Something interesting is that from St. Luke giving us a venue at a very low fee. They gave us at a fee of 5,000 the first time, the second time 6,000. That was very cheap for us.
Hey, that is
Yes, yes.
6,000. Yet you are
And then
previously given a quote of 600.
yes, so yeah, so it was like they were just telling us, have it for free, because we were paying 5,000. The funny bit again, after us paying them 5,000, they supported us with 20,000 for trophies. So it is
Wow.
as good as we didn't pay anything. It's
Yeah,
like they
true.
gave us 15,000 instead. And the reason, I believe, the reason why they supported us, one, they were just passionate about supporting something new. You know, those people who hear something new and they're like, wow, we can run away with this one. It's an opportunity to do something new for the community. For us, they were in the process of giving back to the community, but we appreciate and we thank God that we were the ones who benefited from that. And we did it last year. I was saying that first time when Coach Andiwa came, they came with Equity, and Andiwa was like, "You mean I can have one in a hospital setup?" Because when people hear St. Luke Hospital, they were like, "Are we going to play in a hospital? How possible is that?" But once they arrived there, they were like, "Wow, this is it is a paradox. You are in hospital and you're having fun. You've never, you've never You've never imagined you can be in a hospital and enjoy yourself." So for us, it was something new, and it was a relief. It was very much relieving because of the stress that we had gone through in search of a venue. So for us, we appreciate St. Luke Hospital. They did a lot for us. They supported us twice, and we are still collaborating with them. We are still friends, and most of our activities will be done there, though we are thinking of getting a bigger venue, because The last tournament that we had, we felt like we were being squeezed a bit. So maybe we can change the venue for Eldoret Open if we manage to get a fair deal. But again, if we will have to go back to St. Luke, we don't have a problem with that. It's we loved the place and we appreciated the ambience and the courtesy from the people, from the owners, from the workers. We felt at home, so we can always go back to St. Luke. But if numbers exceed, or if because we've noticed that Eldoret Open is growing, we might look for a bigger option. We might get a bigger option. But for anything else, like our chess trainings, our rapids, maybe with very few people, St. Luke will always welcome us and we would always love to be back to that.
Speaking of tournaments and locations, I'd like us to shift gears and talk about the upcoming regional qualifiers for the Kenya National Youth Chess Championships. Location is Wareng High School. Talk to us
Yeah.
about that.
Yes, Wareng has also been our major venue. The other day we went with KCB to plant trees in that school, and KCB was kind enough to donate chessboards to them because they requested us to identify a school, and Wareng had to come into our mind because they have supported us. We have done about 3 tournaments in Wareng High School. They have hosted us, and it is a very nice school, spacious. I believe it can, if we can manage, it can even host national someday. So, welcome to Wareng High School. Those people around was in Gishu County. We have prepared a very organized tournament for you, better one. And I appreciate the fact that every now and then we always improve on our shortcomings. Sometimes you feel like you've really organized a tournament, and then boom, you get surprised in the morning. But for us, we've managed to learn lesson after lesson. And I even believe this time round our tournament is going to be much better because we are very much prepared to host it. And Wareng is very much prepared to host us. And we appreciate their principal, Mr. Ngetich, for accepting to host us every now and then.
Allow me to pick your mind. So, last year nationals, I arbitrated in Mangu. Get this. Players alone in the Kenya National Youth Chess Championship held in Mangu High School. 7,000 players.
Yeah.
This year can even go up to 9,000 players. Back to Wareng High School as the regional venue. We are obviously going to see an increase because currently chess is now finally officially part of the curriculum. It's a
Yeah.
recognized sport incorporated in the curriculum. Numbers will surely skyrocket. How is the Uasin Gishu County Association in particular prepared to handle the surge in numbers?
Yeah, we went back to Wareng High School to inspect before we chose it as a venue. And for us, we were surprised to find that they have even made a larger place. They have proved for us a whole place to go and play chess. So we are actually ready. The space is enough. For those people who were there last year and they feel like the space was small, we have a bigger space, courtesy of Wareng High School. And we are ready. We're very much ready to host as many people as possible as they can come.
Right. Lastly, I would like you to talk to us about this title, this heading, LSI Faith Letting. What is this LSI about? Someone who doesn't know chess must be wondering, how did this happen? Where did you get it? What does it entail? What is the benefit of having a chess certification? How does it compare to SI, that is school instructor? How different is it from FIDE instructor, lead school instructor? What is this all about?
You start with the school instructor and then you move to lead school instructor. Lead school instructor means you can instruct a trainer of trainers, but you cannot give a title. So for me to be able to give out a title, I need to do what you call the senior lead instructor, that is SLI, and that's what I'm heading to. And for me, I've been passionate about learning chess. You know, the fact that came in green, knowing nothing about it, has developed a lot of curiosity in me. So I went to South Africa in 2024. I was taking my son to go and play in the Africa Championship. And when I reached there, I noticed they were offering school instructor training. And for me, I was like, wow, this is a chance. While my son is playing, I can also learn. I went to class, learned, and did exam. I passed for the school instructor title. And immediately, I paid another fee and joined the lead school instructor class. And I was able to do the lead school instructor, finished it, and that is how I am the lead school instructor. The difference between between school instructor and FIDE instructor is that school instructors are more interested in the knowledge of chess. We are more interested in the benefits of chess, especially the cognitive benefits. Unlike the FIDE instructor, where those instructors are more interested in creating champions and competitive chess. For us, it's not about competitive chess. It's more about taking chess outside there and changing lives, changing mannerisms, and helping kids to be better in terms of their thinking. So, a school instructor is more about non-competitive chess compared to FIDE instructor.
All right. Now, this has been very, very, very insightful. I believe we've only scratched the surface. There's still more to talk about, but I'd like us to put a pause there for this episode and still revisit as you grow more and more, rise up the ladders in chess. I'll be very happy to engage you once again. It has been worthwhile. I hope you've enjoyed. In case
Yeah.
you have any question you'd like us to pose to Faith Letting, something that we might not have mentioned, please feel free to give us a comment in the comment section in all my socials. That is Chesscope, Eugene Bahati Chesscope, or to Faith Letting, maybe you can share your social media handles.
Uh, Mine are Faye in WhatsApp and Faye FAY mine again in Instagram.
All right.
Yes.
It is all about intentional leadership, especially women in leadership, especially in the chess circles. You can see from Faith's own story what a man can do, a woman can equally do, and sometimes even do much better. She says she's
Surely.
only getting started, and there's much, much more from a leader's perspective, an organizer's perspective, a chessman perspective. The possibilities are endless. She's
Sure.
calling for intentional leadership, support from all quarters, and she's not walking this journey alone. She's willing to be handheld and also
Sure.
hold your hand. This has been
Exactly.
episode one of the International Women's Day series focusing on women in chess. Our first guest has been LSI Faith Letting. Stay tuned for the next one. Thank you so much for making the time. I've been your host, Eugene Bahati. Until next time, bye.